Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. Week 15 fantasy playoffs. We are right in the thick of it. We're going to hang out for the next half an hour or so, and I'm going to do my best to answer all of these start-sit questions correctly. I know the stakes are high this weekend, so I'm going to do my best. And we're going to hang out for the next half an hour. I'll go over all of the actives and get you guys basically everything that you need to know. Chase coming in hot. Good morning to you, my man. Asking if Taysom Hill should be playing. I believe he's good to go. I'm seeing Tyreek Hill inactive. That just came through. Wow. And I'm just following Underdog's Twitter right now. Aaron Jones is active for Week 15. Chris Godwin's active. Tyreek Hill inactive for Week 15. Oh my goodness. There's weather in that game. That's going to be a question mark. We'll see if Jalen Waddle and Tua can connect. Devon Achane is active, though, so it's not a total dumpster fire for the Dolphins today. Chris Olave won't play, so the thoughts here on I think this is Tyreek Hill that we're asking, not Taysom Hill. And Tyreek Hill officially inactive for Week 15. I know he was warming up and trying to do some straight line speed stuff, but I believe his lateral horizontal agility was not going to be very good today. So no Tyreek Hill today. I'm probably off of Tua. I think Raheem Mostert you're playing. I'm iffy on Devon Achane just with his injury history. And then I think you're probably going to play Jalen Waddle if you have him. Some more actives for you guys. If Hill plays, would you play Dobbs over Waddle and flex? With this news now, you're going to play Waddle over Dobbs, and in this one, you kind of got to play your Jaden Reed over Tyreek Hill. So we got those out of the way. Good morning to John. Hope you're doing well. Two big questions. Love or Hurts at QB1? Schultz, Waller, or Kraft for tight end one? I was assuming I was going to get a lot of Jalen Hurts questions this morning. We get 24 plus hours for Jalen Hurts to get ready for this game. I think he's going to play. The stakes are pretty high for the NFC teams right now, and I just with having more than a full 24 hours to get ready for this game, I would imagine he's going to be getting a lot of fluids and hydration and things like that to get him ready to go. So I would probably wait out for Jalen Hurts. If you do have, a little bit of hesitation on Jalen Hurts and you just want to lock in Jordan Love, I do think Love's going to be much better today than he was last weekend. I think you're looking at your prototypical 16 to 20 point game from Jordan Love. So he would be the safe call. I think personally, I would probably wait for Jalen Hurts. And man, if you need to wait for Jalen Hurts and pick up Mariota, I guess that's probably what I would do. I'm going to wait for Jalen Hurts, though, here, John. And then Schultz, Waller, or Kraft at tight end. Interesting. I don't know what to expect today out of Darren Waller. I'm pretty nervous to play him. Case Keenum's a decent quarterback. I think Dalton Schultz can be of service today. I know the Titans are pretty good, though, against the tight end. So I think I'm going to go Tucker Kraft here and just hope for 7 to 10 points. We know Tampa Bay's defense is not good against the pass. I'm going to lean towards Tucker Kraft here being the better play of the three. So I guess I'm going to go with Hurts, and I'm going to go with Tucker Kraft. Case Keenum or Joe Flacco. Good morning to Harris, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Case Keenum or Joe Flacco. I'm gonna go with Joe Flacco here. We've seen him play well for 2 straight games. I know there's weather concerns in that game here, but I don't have a lot of faith in Case Keenum starting for the first time in a long time here. So I'm gonna go with Joe Flacco. Good morning. Pick one: Aaron Jones, Keaton Mitchell, or Brandon Cooks, non-PPR. So I'm going to go back to the actives. AJ Dillon is not expected to play. So with that being said, I'm probably just going to lean with Aaron Jones. I know it's his first game, but he was supposed to be back, last Monday night. So I think he's going to be healthy and good to go. This game's in Lambeau. I'm going to go with Aaron Jones here in this Packers offense. I think Keaton Mitchell is a safe play, but we're not sure if he's going to get a touchdown. And Brandon Cooks has obviously been pretty hot with touchdowns lately, but there's going to be rain in that Dallas game here. So I'm going to go Aaron Jones here. And then in this one, I'm going to go with the touches. I'm going to go with Antonio Gibson in this one. He's looking at, 12 to 15 touches today. If they get near the red zone, he could easily catch or run a touchdown in. So I'm going to go Gibson. And yeah, the Jets have momentum. Good morning to Justin. They're coming in hot off of an impressive win last week. And you never know. The Jets still have technically playoff hopes, implications in line. They have Aaron Rodgers slated to come back week 16 and 17. So there's a little bit of buzz here. If the Jets win today, you never know. You just never know. Good morning to Ryan. He's coming in asking Falcons or Saints defense. I think I'm going to go with the Falcons defense today. I know we've talked about that on Twitter, Ryan, but just the weather issues that I'm seeing here, you're taking the team that's basically the worst team in the league, Carolina, and you're going to hold them down to under 10 points, get some sacks, some turnovers, some things like that. So I guess I'm going to go Atlanta defense here. They need to win. They need to keep up with the NFC South, and Giants are playing well. They're playing good football right now. I'm going to go Falcons. Harris says, drop Kenneth Gainwell or Gus Edwards in a PPR dynasty. I mean, I'll probably drop Gus Edwards here. Yeah, I'll probably drop Gus Edwards. Both guys are not really great dynasty assets, but I would expect the Ravens to bring in more running backs next year in the offseason. Maybe Philadelphia does too, but it's a coin flip here, Harris. It's I'll go Gus Edwards. Justin says Tua, Tommy, Carr, Levis need one. Oh man, I'm not excited about Tua today. I think just with Tyreek being out, the rain, the weather, the wind. Very nervous about Mr. Tua Tagovailoa today. I think, and Derek Carr, man, like we got Chris Olave not playing in this one, so I am slightly concerned about Derek Carr. I guess I'm gonna go. I guess I'm gonna go Tommy DeVito here with his legs against New Orleans. It's between DeVito and Levis. I think Tennessee's probably looking at some rushing touchdowns out of Derrick Henry today. DeVito's playing hot and he's got the wheels to kind of boost the floor. So I guess we're gonna go with Tommy DeVito here, Justin. With this Hill news scares me. Yeah, I'm not playing Tua. Probably Tommy DeVito, man. He's been playing decent for the last handful of games. I just want to look at his fantasy numbers real quick. And the Giants, I mean, both New York teams are kind of playing with momentum right now. I don't hate Tommy DeVito today, especially in a super flex format. I mean, he's gotten 17 points, 10 points, 22, 13. You know, he's got a safe double-digit floor. And last weekend, you know, we saw against Green Bay, he was able to light him up with the rushing upside here. Maybe we get a Ritter game. I'm not hopeful. The Panthers, for some reason, are very good against quarterbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends. They do allow a lot of running back points, though. So I think it's a Bijan game. Not super sure on Desmond Ritter. There's also rain and some weather in that game as well. So I think it leans towards a Bijan game, not so much a Ritter game. Ritter's only good in fantasy when they have to throw the ball a lot, and I don't expect that game script today. Smith, JSN, Shaheed, or Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm probably going to stick with Devonta Smith here. I think if you're nervous, it's nice because you have the pivot of Jackson Smith and the Jigba. Shaheed is the wide receiver one today, which could be some big plays, but that could also be, you know, with his first game back, that could also be, you know, only 2 or 3 catches and not a lot of yards. Wan'Dale is a nice, safe, high floor, but personally, I'm going to wait for Smith. And if Jalen Hurts goes, I'll play Devonta Smith. If no Jalen Hurts, then I can just pivot to Jackson Smith and the Jigba and hold out points for Monday Night Football. I kind of like the Aaron Jones today. Jones has always been a player that plays better at home, it seems like, and no A.J. Dillon, it seems. So, I mean, I thought Aaron Jones was going to play on Monday night last week, and they held him out. I think a lot of that's because of the field over in New York, and they just didn't want to mess with anything. But no A.J. Dillon today. Aaron Jones should be a busy guy. And yeah, no Watson, no Dillon. I'm seeing a couple more actives and actives come through. Christian Watson officially inactive. A.J. Dillon officially inactive. Noah Brown, the wide receiver for the Texans, is officially active, and so is Jamal Williams for the Saints. Let me see if I got anything else coming through here, but we should be getting most of the actives and actives now. Dalton Kincaid or Evan Ingram PPR. I'm going to go with Evan Ingram here. I know it's a tough matchup against the Ravens, but I would expect the Ravens to put up points. I would expect the Jags to have to kind of play from behind and throw to Evan Ingram. And ever since Christian Kirk went down, Harris, Evan Ingram's been a top 3, top 5 tight end. So a little bit nervous with Kincaid. Now that Dawson Knox is back, they're playing a good Cowboys team. Kincaid has slowed momentum over the last couple games we've seen from him. So I'm gonna stick with the hot hand Evan Ingram. Prayers up for Jamar Chase. Yeah, we'll see. He's got a separated shoulder. I mean, they're in the playoff hunt. Can they win a game without Jamar Chase next week? I'm not sure. We'll be watching his practice reports. He does get the extra day to heal, which is nice, but I would say it's probably looking doubtful for Jamar Chase week 16. So we'll have to send all of the thoughts and good prayers and wishes to Jamar. Curtis Samuel or Elijah Moore? I'm going to go with Curtis Samuel here, Harris. And this one is I think I can make an argument that Curtis Samuel's been the wide receiver one over in Washington for the last handful of games now. He's been very productive. And you have the Rams Washington game. There's like going to be 50 plus points scored in that game. So that's, 6 or 7 touchdowns. I would put myself into that game script here with Curtis Samuel. We expect the Rams offensively to put up points and should make the Washington Commanders have to throw the ball. So I'm going to go Curtis Samuel pretty easy here. Yeah, the Minnesota Vikings lost today or last night opens things up. If Green Bay wins today, I believe their playoff odds shoot up dramatically here. So it's a huge game today in Green Bay. Tampa Bay also holding on to that NFC North or NFC South lead right now. Huge game in Green Bay today. We'll see if the Bucks and Packers can make it a good one. Update on really bad weather games. Let me take a look here. NFL weather.com. I go. Alrighty, I'm seeing definite rain showers in Cleveland today. I just want to pull up Cleveland's weather separately here. I want to look at the hourly. It's not going to be good in Cleveland today. The hourly right now is calling for rain up until about 2 p.m. here. So we might get a nice little pause in the second half here. It's going to dissipate in around halftime, but the rain will be there for the first part of the game, and then it'll get better. I'm seeing about 15-mile-per-hour winds during the game, so you're probably going to see rain for the first half of the Cleveland game. Moving on to Carolina, they're calling for definite rain in Carolina. It's not going to be pretty. Where does Carolina play? They play in, I don't know. They're Charlotte, I believe. Yeah. Let me look at Charlotte real quick. Alrighty. So I'm seeing rain all day in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. 17-mile-per-hour winds at the highest. During the football game, though, it's going to be rainy and 10 to 15-mile-per-hour winds. So not good in Carolina. We are expecting a lot of running attempts in that game. Green Bay looks fine. There might be a little bit of drizzle here, but Green Bay looks fine. It's about 40 degrees. It's not bad there. Tennessee looks fine, mostly cloudy, a little bit of 8-mile-per-hour winds, but no rain in Tennessee. And then Miami, they're still calling for thunderstorms and 23-mile-per-hour winds. Let me double check Miami real quick here for you. Miami, No, Miami looks decent now. The wind or the rain kind of went away in Miami. We just have a lot of wind. Winds upwards of 20 miles per hour. So not as bad as it looked though. There's a chance of rain still, but not great anymore. New England, slight chance of rain, a little bit of wind. And then Buffalo, Dallas, man, it's gonna rain and it's gonna rain in Orchard Park today. We have a little bit of wind here. I still think you're playing Dak, you're playing CeeDee Lamb. I don't want to get any questions on those studs. But yeah, it's going to rain throughout the game today in Buffalo, Dallas. Also, Jerick McKinnon might go off too. I got good Jerick McKinnon vibes. I mean, we know what Clyde Edwards is. He's just not a very good running back. I think if you play Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you're just hoping for that 7 to 10 PPR floor with a chance of a touchdown. McKinnon seems to be the guy that they like to use in high leverage situations, whether it's third down or red zone packages. If they need to play, they do trust McKinnon. So I like the Jerick McKinnon today. Kincaid or Njoku? Interesting. Man, we've talked about the weather in Cleveland today, but it's going to get better as the game goes on. I'm going to stick with David Njoku, man. I think he's got the upside you're looking for against the Chicago Bears. It's a decent matchup. Slightly concerned with Kincaid. Just one, he's not 100%. You have Dawson Knox back. It's a tough matchup against Dallas. I'm going to go with David Njoku. Good morning, Inceptivus. Need some serious help at QB with Hurts possibly not playing. Should I wait it out and wait for Hurts or start Murray or Flacco? Personally, and this is how I've been kind of talking about it if you missed it earlier, I would imagine Jalen Hurts is going to play tomorrow. We have more than 24 hours for him to get treatment and fluids and whatnot and to get his body ready. I think The alarming part of everything this morning was that he was downgraded to questionable, but I think just with the weird stuff we've seen on the practice reports this year, Philly just wanted to make sure that they weren't doing anything wrong with that. So I'm leaning towards Jalen Hurts being good to go. I would be shocked if he doesn't play tomorrow night. The NFC race is in the thick of it right now. He's going to do his best to make sure he's ready to go. And I think Jalen Hurts, even though he's not 100%, I think I'm playing him. If you wanted to play somebody and you're nervous about Jalen Hurts, I would play Murray over Flacco in your case here in Septivis. But I think personally, I'm going to wait for Jalen Hurts. And if he can't go, you're going to have your option of Drew Lock or Marcus Mariota, I suppose. But I am thinking Hurts is going to be okay. How you feeling about Brees today? Jets got some momentum. They got some swag. They got Rodgers potentially coming back next week. I think there's a lot of excitement around the New York Jets right now. And just with the bad news the Dolphins just got about Tyreek not playing, don't expect that game to be a blowout anymore. The Jets defense is going to play the ball really well and get the Dolphins off the field, which should lead to Brees Hall being used quite a bit today. And we know he's been a really good receiving back basically the last 2 months. So I'm feeling good about Brees. The biggest question with Brees is, he really can't get anything going in the running game. He's been a great receiving back, but I think maybe today we see that loosen up a little bit. We saw the Titans offense play well against this Dolphins defense here. So I do think Brees is probably a top 10, top 12 running back today. So let's go Brees. Would you drop London for Romeo Doubs? If you needed to start this player today, I would say, yeah, I'd rather start Romeo Doubs over Drake London today. If you're not using London today, then I wouldn't probably do it. If you're not using Doubs, I wouldn't do it. But only if you need to play Romeo Doubs today, then I would do it. Flowers or Jaden Reed, non-PPR. I mean, Jaden Reed's been one of the hottest players, especially as a rookie. He's been one of the hottest rookie receivers, but so is Zay Flowers. I think not really quite sure what we're going to get today out of Green Bay with Aaron Jones back. That could be a little bit different looking offense than we've seen lately. I think I'm going to stick with Zay Flowers, the hot hand. And if Mark Andrews were playing, I probably would say Jaden Reed's the easy call here, but Zay Flowers is operating as the number one receiver for Lamar. Jaden Reed, these guys are both really good plays, but I think I'm going to roll with Zay Flowers today. Hey, good morning, Coltron. Thanks for hanging out. Would you rather hold McKinnon or Foreman? I think I'm probably going to hold on to Foreman here. It does sound like even though Pacheco had the shoulder cleanup, it sounded optimistic that Pacheco is going to be back next week, which would take a lot of the steam out of McKinnon's sails. So I'm probably going to hold on to to Foreman here. And hey, no problem, Inceptive. So let's send some good vibes to Jalen Hurts here and make sure he's ready to go for tomorrow night. A lot of people are going to need him. Good morning to Dante here. Do I start Trey McBride or Aaron Jones for my fantasy life? Oh my goodness. Man, that's tough because I do like Trey McBride today. I think he's going to be a busy guy. He's going to have a safe floor of 5 to 6 catches. If you're concerned about Aaron Jones, and I think there's good reason to be, even though I feel optimistic about Aaron Jones, I think he's the ceiling that you're looking for. And with no AJ Dillon, that should lead us to some decent Aaron Jones numbers today. I'm not 100% sure on the volume for Aaron Jones, but I think with him and no AJ Dillon, I think I'm going to go with Aaron Jones here. Curious what you guys think in the chat room. Trey McBride has got a tough matchup against the 49ers. They're going to have to throw the ball today, but I know Marquise Brown and Michael Wilson are both active today. Who's going to be the guy that gets you 20 points? I think it could be Aaron Jones. And hey, OTG, thanks for hanging out, man. We appreciate it. Marcus Mariota or Drew Lock. Yeah, I have a couple leagues where I picked up Drew Lock in just in case he can't go. I think if it comes down to that and say Jalen Hurts can't go, say Geno Smith can't go, I think the answer is pretty easy for me. I'm going Drew Lock. We saw him play pretty well against the 49ers last week and get 15 fantasy points. Eagles give up the most fantasy points to the quarterback and to the wide receiver position. I think it's pretty easy. If it comes down to Mariota versus Drew Lock, I'm going Drew Lock here. And yeah, Aaron Jones is the answer here. Let me just do a couple refreshing updates here and see if I missed any players active or inactive. Big day today, guys. I'm super excited about it. Hopefully, we can get you guys through to the second round of the fantasy playoffs. And yeah, we got pretty much all the actives out of the way here. We got a couple defensive players that are going to be out. No Jair Alexander for Green Bay. No Xavier Howard for the Dolphins. No safety Javon Holland for the Dolphins too. So there's a little bit of Jets buzz there. They're missing two of their top cornerbacks in Miami. And yeah, it looks like Jair Alexander's not playing today. So I like Big Mike Evans today quite a bit. I know Chris Godwin's kind of dinged up with some things right now. I think the Bucks Packers game is going to be a sneaky good game as the Packers are trying to keep up with the 7th seed and the Buccaneers are trying to maintain the NFC South. Sports Dog, good morning, my man. We're using James Cook and sitting Aaron Jones. I just don't trust Jones, and both Wilson and Taylor will steal touches. Just trust Cook's usage more than. So yeah, I'm probably gonna think James Cook is gonna be a big factor today. And ever since they swapped out offensive coordinators, we've seen James Cook kind of become more of a factor in the passing game. And just the product of that game, Dallas and Buffalo, I think there's probably 50.5 points projected in that game. So you have a good chance of getting a touchdown out of James Cook today. And again, just the way he's been unleashed as a receiver excites me a little bit. Essentially, both players are very like James Cook and Aaron Jones have very similar skill sets right now. And I think James Cook's a little bit more of a hot hand. Aaron Jones, we still like Aaron Jones today, but I think I'm going to take the safety of James Cook here. Zach Wilson or Hurts in Superflex. I would be crazy to bench Hurts for Wilson. Correct. Yeah. Personally, I'm going to wait out for Hurts here. Again, I would be pretty shocked if he can't play tomorrow night. I think the Eagles are just doing their due diligence to make sure the injury report is correct. And 24 plus hours for Jalen Hurts to get ready. It's basically like 30 hours for him to get ready. So he's going to be pumped with a bunch of fluids and medicines. And I think Jalen Hurts is going to be fine. I'm just going to hit refresh on some of my things here and make sure everything's good to go. Very exciting day today. I'm curious to see what happens in the NFC and the AFC playoff races, as well as our own fantasy leagues. Tyler Lockett or DeAndre Hopkins, half PPR. This one's pretty easy for me. We got DeAndre Hopkins going against his former team, the Houston Texans. I want to lean into that. We saw Will Levis and DeAndre Hopkins pick apart the Miami Dolphins last weekend. Even though I like Tyler Lockett's matchup a lot against the Philadelphia Eagles, I think I'm going to lock in DeAndre Hopkins, who has the upside of double-digit targets today. Even though it's a kind of a tough matchup on paper playing against the Texans, but I just think the way Will Levis is throwing the ball and the amount of targets coming DeAndre Hopkins' way, I think that's probably where I'm going to fall. If Hurts can't go, I think the backup will go to Smith a lot. The good news here for the Eagles is like they have an offensive identity that like you can't really mess it up. Whether it's AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert, there's going to be probably a little bit more emphasis on running with DeAndre Swift. But I would imagine the Seahawks try to shut that part game down and make Mariota beat them with his arm. So probably, I would think AJ Brown and Devonta Smith are still in a decent floor game with Marcus Mariota throwing the ball. And Mariota, he's kind of reckless. He's not afraid to chuck, some passes up and let the receivers make plays. So I do think Smith will be okay. But yeah, obviously the ceiling's capped. James Cook or Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson's not playing. I'm assuming that's Bijan Robinson. If it is Bijan Robinson, you're playing Bijan over James Cook today. I think the game script over there for Carolina Atlanta looks like it's going to be a rainy game. It's going to be a lot of running, probably a lot of punts on both sides. It's the perfect game script to play Bijan Robinson. And hey, if you guys were able to weather the Bijan Robinson storm all year, I think you're going to get rewarded today with probably a top 5, top 10 running back day. So I'll play Brian. I'm assuming that's Bijan Robinson. If it is Bijan, I'm playing Bijan. And if it is Brian Robinson in this question, he's not playing today. So James Cook's the easy call. It says he has an illness and he is sick. Yeah, it does. We don't really know too much of the details here. I'm reading the tea leaves and I'm just trusting my instincts here. If he does play, he's not 100%. If you have a capable backup, I know we got a question earlier today that it was Kyler Murray or something and Jalen Hurts. I think that's close for I might play Kyler Murray, but I think I'm going to hold out for Hurts. Bijan Robinson or Brandon Ayuk. Oh man, I love Brandon Ayuk today, but I think you're going to stick with Bijan. Bijan's probably just the volume play for him to get 20 touches is probably where you want to be. I think Ayuk's going to have a good game today, but the touchdowns have been rolling to Kittle and to Debo. We're going to go with Bijan Robinson today. Good chance at a touchdown. I'm dropping Parker Washington for Marcus Mariota since I have Hurts in my. That's probably where I would go. If you have Jalen Hurts, I would hold out for Hurts because we know he's got immense upside in fantasy scoring. And if it is Marcus Mariota, man, like they're still going to use a lot of the similar offensive play calls in the same style of offense. So Mariota might not be a terrible play in a super flex as a QB2 if it comes to that. So if you have Hurts, I think the best thing to do would be to pick up Mariota and try and see what happens. Again, we have a lot of time yet. We have over 24 hours for Hurts to improve today. And who knows, a good night's sleep for Jalen Hurts tonight. He could wake up feeling a lot better. I know that's usually sleep and water, man. That's usually how I try to get over any illnesses that come my way. And just with the NFL and the amount of resources they have, I think Hurts would be okay here. I think one thing too is like if you're a team that is projected to win by a good amount this week in fantasy football, say you're projected to win by 20 points, I might just pivot and look for the quarterback that's a safer play today. If you're down and you need that big boom game, I would probably wait for Jalen Hurts, and if not, you just grab Marcus Mariota and kind of go that way. But anyways, if you guys got any more final questions, please fire them up. I'm going to get out of here in a few minutes. We got DraftKings lineups and other things and whatnot to set. Just got to make sure all my stuff's good to go. I'm excited for today. I think that Rams Commanders game is going to be really high scoring. I think Dallas Buffalo is going to be really good TV today. I think that's the game that everybody gets to watch in the afternoon slate. And then, yeah, we got some fun games at the early going here. I think Tampa Bay, Green Bay is going to be a hard-nosed game, and we'll see about some of the others here. Yeah, we had some injuries yesterday that was not great. So Pittman's concussion was ugly. Pick up Zay Jones, Sandals, Rob, or Josh Downs. Sandals, Rob. Not sure who that is. I don't hate picking up Zay Jones because he's been a pretty hot player right now. But if no Michael Pittman next weekend, I think we're probably just going to go ahead and go grab Josh Downs here. I think that's the safe play. And if there is any chance that Pittman can play, obviously I think you would play him. But I like grabbing Josh Downs here or Zay Jones. I would probably, and just I don't know the matchup for next week. Let me actually look at that and see what's going on here. I just want to see who the Jags play next weekend. Zay Jones. Playing against Tampa Bay, I'm going to go with Zay Jones here in this question. And yeah, we're going to go Zay Jones in that question there, David. Pollard pop-off, we'll see. I think the Buffalo defense is not as great as people kind of think it is. It's going to be a great game today either way, though. I think Tony Pollard probably going to get his touches, and just with a little bit of the weather over there, I think Pollard's going to be a heavy part of the game plan today. Let me see what else we got here. Sandals Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson. Okay. Yeah, I think looking at the schedule there, David, I saw Zay Jones is going to play at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense is pretty sus against the quarterback, wide receiver, and tight end position. So I would imagine Zay Jones is going to be in for a good day. And yeah, just with no Christian Kirk anymore, I think Zay Jones is looking like a pretty good pickup. But anyways, guys, we did it. We came all the way to week 15 Sunday slate here. Good luck to everybody today. Hopefully I'll see you guys on the shows this week. We'll be going live, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night, getting you guys ready for the Final Four. But again, good luck today. Hope you guys get everything you need. Hope you guys win some money if you guys are playing some DraftKings, DFS, or FanDuel, wherever you guys play. But have a good one. Good luck, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.